Can a deceased person's spirit reaches out for justice? Certainly yes. She reached out to me 3 days in a row. I cannot silence it anymore. This is spirit of Micah Miller. You all know who I'm talking about. There is something heavy on my spirit, and I cannot ignore it. I keep feeling this deep sorrow, like an emotion that did not begin with me, but somehow found its way into my heart. A restless feeling, a pain that feels unfinished, a story that feels buried beneath silence, and I keep hearing these words inside my soul. The world needs to know my story so others do not have to suffer the way I did. I cannot explain it fully. Maybe people call it intuition. Maybe people call it spiritual sensitivity. Maybe people call it grief speaking through the heart. Maybe some call it ghost whispers. I do not know exactly what it is. I only know what I keep feeling emotions that seem larger than my own. Sadness so deep, it feels ancient, pain that feels hidden behind closed eyes and doors, tears that never allowed to fall in front of others. And it makes me ask a question many people ask in silence. Why do good people suffer? Why are there people who give love, loyalty, patience, and sacrifice, yet carry pain nobody notices? Why do some people smile in public but cry in private? Why do some people slowly disappear while everyone thinks they are okay? Because suffering is often invisible. Some people are not destroyed in the moment, in one moment. Some people are destroyed little by little. One painful word, one humiliation, one betrayal, one lonely night, one moment of feeling unseen, again and again and again, until they begin losing pieces of themselves. And if this feeling I carry belongs to a woman whose heart was crushed, then I imagine her saying something like this: I was someone's wife, but I felt alone. I stood beside someone who carried a title people respected, but titles do not always reveal what happens behind closed doors. People saw the image, but they did not see my tears. They saw the pastor. They did not see the woman quietly breaking. Because a title does not automatically mean kindness. A position does not automatically mean character. A public image does not automatically mean love exists in private. Some people become experts at appearing righteous while the people closest to them silently suffer. And maybe that is why this pain feels restless, not because it wants revenge, not because it wants fear, but because pain wants truth. Because pain wants truth. Pain wants someone to finally say, I see what happened. I see the wounds nobody noticed. I see the person hidden behind the smile. Whether these feelings are coming from my own heart, from intuition, from compassion, or from somewhere I do not fully understand, I know this: no person should be ashamed, humiliated, emotionally broken, or made to feel small in the place where they were supposed to feel loved. No soul should suffer in silence, believing nobody would understand. And if someone listening right now feels trapped, exhausted, or invisible, your story matters before it becomes a tragedy. Tragedy. Your pain matters before it becomes unbearable. And your voice deserves to be heard while you are still here. This is the story of Micah Miller, who had to end her life because she could not suffer the pain and suffering when she was married to a pastor, Miller. She reached out to me 3 nights in a row. This message was early morning, 2 a.m., and my spirit could not silence it. Her spirit says she wore silence like a fragile veil, carrying tears nobody could tell, not ashamed of her soul, not ashamed of her heart, but ashamed of her shadows that kept pulling her apart. For the man beside her spoke heaven with his lips, yet his footsteps wandered where darkness sits. He carried a title people honored with praise, while she was left standing inside confusing days. She asks the night, how can words sound holy while actions leave wounds? How can hands be lifted in prayer, yet leave brokenness in rooms? Her spirit grew tired of pretending to smile, of walking through pain mile after mile, because sin hidden beneath beautiful names still burns innocent hearts with invisible flames, and heaven sees what walls conceal, the quiet suffering people feel. For God does not measure robes, titles, or fame. He searches the soul and examines the flame. And somewhere inside her weary chest, a whisper remained stronger than the rest. You were never created to carry another person's darkness as your shame. So she couldn't take the shame of the person she was living next to. She ended it herself. But instead, someone else, she ended herself. Micah Miller.